Well, what's up, Cam?
I don't know, Mitch. I don't know. Not much. We're here though, and that's
Hmm,
exciting. How are
nice.
you?
Um, I'm doing all right. Yeah, it was a weird week this last week.
Okay.
Yeah,
How
so
so?
so Monday I got to work and our delivery truck was stolen over the weekend.
Oh, super.
Like 53-foot flatbed semi was stolen out of the back lot of our store. Well, they found the cab, but the trailer was still missing. And then what we thought on Tuesday was that the trailer just kind of showed up at the store. We ended up finding out later on that it was towed to the store early in the morning. So, like, nobody was around when it got towed in. And what they did is they caught the guy. He basically ran the thing off the road along the highway somewhere, and they were able to tow it back to us and everything. But beyond that, I don't really know much. So that was Monday and Tuesday's Odyssey, and then Wednesday, I texted you that I got to work, and there was a guy. There was emergency vehicles all over the place. There's a guy that he was riding in one of the carts that we had, and he was there with his wife and his dog. Apparently, this is a regular customer that comes in, and he fell off the cart onto the floor, and they didn't realize until a few minutes later that he was actually having a heart issue. They never told us that it was a heart attack, but he was
Mm-hmm.
having a heart issue. He did have a heart attack about a week before that, from what I was told, and they worked on him for about 45 minutes. Apparently, he lost his pulse and breathing. They worked on him for a while. When they left the store, what they told us, what they had, was they had a faint pulse, and he was breathing, but not on his own. And we found out later that he didn't make it to the airport. They were going to med flight him out from the airport nearby, and didn't make it to the airport. So that kind of sucks. But not to start the episode on a downer, but yeah, it was an interesting week. Thankfully, Wednesday and Friday went very differently. It was two relatively normal days, but yeah, the week didn't started out pretty wild. So, but Wednesday we did have an Apple event, which was exciting, and there's some really fun
Yes.
stuff to talk about. All right, so what do we want to do? We want to start with the iPhone. They started with the Apple Watch.
Yeah, let's just go in order of our picks. It'll be easier.
Okay, under iPhone picks. I've got always on display, which we got. So, woo, got that one. That to me was kind of a shoe in. That was heavily rumored and it was in the code and everything. I also got satellite connectivity, which I seem to remember you kind of laughing about.
Well, not that I yeah, I did because I was thinking like satellite phones, that like
Hmm.
drug dealers use in movies. I wasn't thinking of the implementation that you explained and that actually came true with the, emergency stuff out in the wilderness. So,
Which I thought was really clever the way that they did that, because you can only send so much data in a short period of time. So for them to go through this little wizard and say, you know, answer questions as to what's going on, and then they can just send up a very concise idea of what's going on, as
mhm.
opposed to trying to chat back and forth with somebody or something like that, that just wouldn't have worked real well for like the satellite connectivity of itself. Just wasn't gonna, it would take longer, basically, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. And this way it just shoots all the information up that they should need, for the most part, in one shot, as opposed to having to go back and forth.
Mhm. Yeah, and the whole like point your phone at the satellite and when it turns green, hold
Yeah.
it. I mean, it's super cool and it's probably going to save some people's lives.
Oh, there's definitely going to be another montage of how Apple saved my life.
Mhm.
Hmm. And the one that
Yeah.
I got that I missed, and I thought this would be a relative shoe-in. We did get a midnight iPhone 14, but the iPhone 14 Pro dark color was space black, not graphite. So, which is what my prediction was. So,
Indeed. We got what? Midnight Starlight, the new purple, and they're like a green or a blue too. I can't remember.
let me check the Apple website here. They are not terribly good at saying, "Hey, guess what options you have," without having to go in and like fake an order.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm just gonna have to fake an order and see what the colors are. By the way, I really detest all the dynamic crap that they do on the website when you're trying to scroll through. Like, good gravy, just settle down. All right, colors. We have blue, which is kind of almost like a more of a slate color. It's more of a muted blue color. We have purple, which again is a more of a muted purple. We have midnight, which definitely looks black in this picture, but if it's consistent with other times they've used midnight, it's actually a really, really dark blue.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, starlight and product red. So some good colors there. And then I think we got some interesting colors with, what do you think of that purple in the Pro? The deep purple.
Yeah. I like it because it got me my one of my picks. So.
It did, for sure.
When he said "and are new," I was like, "Yes, I get that pick."
Yep.
He said "new,"
and that's exactly why I gave it to you, because of that purple. I don't think any of the other phones were really new colors. You might, I would have to look. You might be able to make an argument with the blue color on the iPhone 14, but that deep purple definitely was a new color. So. But in the iPhones, you got your deep purple, you got gold, you've got silver, and then space black. Should have been graphite.
Cool. Well, using that as a very professional segue, my iPhone picks, I went 3 for 3 here, which I feel pretty good about. Not as impressive as your wild card 3 for 3, which is I think more impressive because that's across the board. But my picks for the iPhone were no notch on the Pro models. Which obviously the notch has been replaced by the dynamic island, which has been the subject of so many bad puns on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And you knew it was coming because it is kind of a silly, like Apple's naming conventions are either like very like self-explanatory, like dynamic island, or they're like over the top, like the M1 Ultra Pro Bionic, all that weird stuff. So this one, I think it's a silly name, Dynamic Island, but you know exactly what it is by its name, which serves a purpose. And I saw some renderings from a guy, Parker something. I think he works at The Verge. I can't remember. Anyways, he did some mock-ups of what the digital island could look like on iPads.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
In split view, and like he did a full like product rendering for like and matched the gradient in the color and the words, just like the Apple. Like it looked like it was pulled from the keynote.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of fun. I don't know if I want it on my iPad because I don't need it, but it was a really interesting concept.
It could pave the way for what we could see over the next 2 or 3 years with other devices, though. Because there's some functionality there that I think is really, really good. The idea of being able to have the music up in the dynamic island, music app, and being able to tap that, interact with the music, and then throw it away and get it out of the way so that you can keep doing whatever you're doing instead of having to do a swipe up motion or swipe down motion or something like that to take over the whole screen with something else. So I think that it keeps you in the context of what you're doing instead of having to go somewhere else to do a thing.
Yeah, I'm interested to see though how busy the screen feels with that going on and the live activities at the bottom. You know, like if you're watching tracking a sporting event or your food delivery or your Uber or Lyft or whatever, and that live activity at the bottom. I'd be interested to see how people
So
react to
I
having both
don't
of those.
recall who was talking about this last week, if it was on Upgrade or could have been Connected or ATP. I've listened to all three of those in the last couple of days, but they were saying that this actually is live updates and it's being handled differently on the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max than it is on the other devices. So I don't know if that means that all of a sudden all of your live updates are just going to be in that top bar and not have a card down below like the other phones would. But that's almost how it sounded. That it is a lot. Serenity Caldwell apparently did verify that it is live updates that's driving that system.
Huh.
Well,
I guess we'll have to wait for the professional podcasters to get theirs and tell us about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I'm not getting an iPhone 14.
No, it's not my year to upgrade. So,
yeah, mine either.
And to be quite honest with you, unless they do anything super compelling in the next year, I might, and I said this a couple of years ago too, and didn't do it, but I might actually try to hold on to my devices longer, just for money savings. So it's getting to be a lot to pay, $1,000+ every 2 years for a phone. So
it's true.
All right. Did you have another one?
That new 48 megapixel camera though. Woo! It looks good. My next pick was improved portrait or cinema mode on Pro phones. We did not get an improved portrait mode, but we did get an improved cinema mode. You can now shoot in 4K and at 24 frames per second in cinema mode. So thank you very much. Those are both very nice additions and welcome ones.
I questioned that when I first was scoring this, and then I thought, close enough. It's an update. But they didn't actually go in and update. I guess they're offering 4K. They're offering 24 frames per second.
Yeah. Which is
at first, my first thought was, well, those are improvements, but is that changing anything in cinema mode? And I thought, well,
oh yeah, the resolution and the frame rate, which are two very important things when it comes to video.
So
it did.
I felt I felt at first maybe I had a little bit of an argument, and then I realized, no, I have no argument.
Yeah, I would have fought you hard on that one, bro.
All right.
And then we've already covered, that comes in a new color not seen since iPhone 10, and we got the brand new deep purple. So those are my 3 iPhone picks. So currently I am up 3-2. But
so let's go ahead.
See that change.
Let's go ahead and throw that score in here. All right. So puts you 3-2. All right. So moving on to the Apple Watch. There's some exciting stuff going on in the Apple Watch area. I'm super excited. But my first pick was a new, larger Apple Watch. And we indeed got a larger Apple Watch. I don't know if you've seen this thing on anybody's wrists yet, but that thing is massive.
The Ultra?
Yeah. I guess it depends on the size of your wrist. It probably wouldn't look so big on mine, but if my wife put it on, I don't know if she could even wear this watch. It's huge. But
a lot of those like adventuring and mountaineering watches are all giant too.
Yeah, this is true.
Because you got to store a lot of firepower in those for GPS stuff and all that nonsense, big batteries.
We got a really interesting segment on the temperature sensor. I did not expect it to go the way it went, or how they introduced it. For retroactive ovulation tracking. So they're not promising that it can tell a woman when they're ovulating, but it can tell you when you possibly ovulated and help you make a plan. So it really, the story was really around women's health, with the temperature sensor. And I don't know how you thought about that. I was kind of like, well, so can it not tell me if I'm running a fever? It's a temperature sensor.
Well, yeah, but it's it's not checking your internal temperature, it's testing the temperature of your skin, as opposed to, because it had two sensors, right? One at the top and one on your skin, so they could separate the difference between the air temp, now obviously if your skin temperature is higher than normal, it could be because you're running a fever, or it could be because you're working out or mowing the lawn in the summertime, or whatever. But I think so. Technology has been male dominated forever, in the Silicon Valley sense, and so I think Apple and Google, right, have made it a priority in years past to get women on stage, put women, not put women, but find women that are good fits for senior roles, whether it's technical, marketing, sales, whatever. Like we see a lot of women in like, VP and SVP and manager roles that are on stage, whether it's at WWDC or the different events. And I think they did it. They chose to do, cycle tracking was a thing previously. Now it's the ovulation thing. And I think they're going to just keep doing this sort of stuff to not just include women in this stuff, but make features specifically for them. Because guess what? They're either half or a little over half of the world's population. And that specific thing, ovulation and cycle tracking, is a very, very key indicator, as they said in the keynote, of overall health and reproductive health specifically. And, we need more babies. So it's all good. And so was I expecting them to spend, one, I didn't know that this was coming. And two, I didn't expect them to spend as much time on it as they did, but I'm totally fine with it. I think, like I said, it's a very important thing in the lives of not just women, but families that are trying to conceive and that may be having issues in that area or struggles. And it can be very, very emotionally and psychologically draining on people that want to have children, and are unable to conceive or are struggling with it. I went through that for a while. So I know firsthand that it's not fun, and it's, it can be really crappy. So the fact that they're including things in their technology to help women specifically, but then also families, like, I'm here for it.
Yeah. And part of the theory that I've heard too about this is that they wanted to make a lot of claims about what this could do, but they couldn't make some of those claims because it just wasn't accurate enough. And they do get into some regulatory issues if they make claims and things don't work the way they're supposed to. So I think even when they were talking about the retroactive ovulation tracking, they
use the word may.
They were very careful about how they had that messaging. So they're not very confident about how this temperature sensor works from the language. So,
well, I don't think it's a lack of confidence. I think it's we don't want to get sued. It's totally a cover your own butt phrasing. And, that's why they have a whole department that combs over everything that's said at these events.
All right. Well, anyway, moving along, new color for the Apple Watch. Now, at first I thought to myself, I don't know about this, because all the colors that they were offering were all kind of like the colors that were available before. Even with the Ultra, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit, that titanium is not a new material that they're using. So there wasn't an argument there to talk about a new color. But when I looked at the SE line, the last year's Apple Watch SE came in, let me dig this up here real quick so I get this right. Came in silver aluminum, space gray aluminum, rose gold aluminum, and gold aluminum. And this year's Apple Watch comes in starlight, midnight, and I think silver. Yeah, they still have a silver in the line. So the Midnight and Starlight are new to the SE line.
Well, the SE is an Apple Watch, so you get your point, sir.
Okay. All righty. All right. So what did you have for the Apple Watch?
My first Apple Watch pick was that a new model offers longer battery life, and boy, howdy does it.
Mm-hmm.
The other one I got was the updated digital crown, which was a total. I was shot in the dark because I didn't know anything, and then of course you picked new watch bands and wildcard, and I felt stupid for not picking that. But I got lucky because the Ultra again, so that watch saved me twice. Now the one that you say I didn't get, there are new sensors for health tracking that are not the temperature sensor, and I would like to draw your attention, sir, to the crash detection.
That is not a health feature.
Yes, it is.
That's why I didn't give it to you.
It's a total health feature. Are you alive?
That's not a health feature.
Yeah, hold on. Crash detection uses the combined power of an improved 3-axis gyroscope and a new G-force accelerometer that has the highest dynamic range. It also uses microphone barometer, an advanced centrifugation algorithm.
I don't know how to quite quantify how, like, to say it's a health feature. It is not something that is like, like the temperature sensor is a health feature. This is directly sensing things about my health. This crash feature or fall detection or anything like that, that's not a health feature. It is a cool feature. Just because you can argue that, well, I'm not dead, that doesn't make it a health feature.
It does, because if you're in a crash, it detects it and then it asks you, are you okay? And if you don't respond, it automatically calls the emergency services for you so that your life can be saved if you're not already dead. So if helping automatically save your life isn't a health feature, then I don't know what is.
It's a health, maybe that it's a health feature, but how is it tracking your health?
It's tracking if you're alive. I think the word tracking is what's going to get me here.
That's what I'm keying in on. Like if you said health feature, then you got gray area to work with, but it's not tracking your health.
It's tracking if you're conscious. It's tracking if you're conscious, because if you don't respond, it calls.
Oh boy. Man, I don't want to give you this one, because I don't think it was the spirit of the pick, nor does the wording work.
Yeah, I think tracking is what I just said. If I just had new health sensors, gosh, or if I just had new sensors.
New sensors would have probably got it for you. Oh no, that would have definitely got it for you. But
yeah,
new health sensors, that still would have been a little bit of an argument.
I tried.
Okay. All right, but you did get updated digital crown, because that new crown on the Ultra is fantastic. I love how beefy that looks. All right. That puts us even at 5 points apiece.
Yeah.
All right. So my first wild card pick was new or updated MagSafe accessory. Now, there was a rumor that they were going to update the MagSafe chargers to a higher, I don't know, to be able to charge faster. And they didn't call that out on stage. It's not in any of the materials that I'm aware of. So that didn't happen. But in searching through all the MagSafe accessories and looking at cases and all this kind of stuff, they did update all of the wallet, MagSafe wallets to new colors. So they've got some really cool new colors. And we talked about burnt umber last time. They have an umber wallet now. It looks to be more brown than yellow, or more brown than orange. And they do have an orange wallet now as well in the leather, and an orange leather case for the iPhone 14. But yeah, I was looking at the I lost my pick, my annual pick on the iPhone will come in orange. That is what it is. Autumn colored watch bands. We did get a new batch of watch bands that for the autumn, so I got that. And no AR headset announced. So I thought that was a safe pick as well. So 1 point apiece there. And go ahead with yours, sir.
All right. New AirPods announced. We got the new AirPods Pro. So, yay. Those look nice. I like the fact that it has the touch sensitive like volume control. So you can just, drag up and down to adjust the volume.
Mm-hmm.
That's really nice. I'm glad they didn't get rid of the stems. You know me. I like my stems.
I think it's a good thing to keep the stems. I agree.
I still think it's silly that when they had the long ones, they didn't have a button on them. And then when they had the short ones, they put a button on it. But, I've had that issue for a while, so I won't bring it up again. The next one I got is someone who has never presented before does so at this event. We got like 4 or 5 people that had never been on TV before in the event. So for sure got that one.
Well, I went ahead and gave you that one when the guy from the guy that was out in the boat from one of the companies that they were working with.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember one of the nautical companies that they were working with.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, he hasn't presented before. And then we got I think it was at Marlene or Marianne or something like that introduced the new AirPods 2. I don't know that I've seen her before.
Yeah, no, there was at least 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't even thinking about the guy on the boat. I was thinking just Apple people.
Yeah. So, no, that was an easy one. And then what was your third one?
Apple teases another event or product launch coming soon. And I remember during the event, I was like, oh, there's something happened that I thought I was like, I could argue for that, but I don't remember what it was. And I don't think you would have given it to me, but I think it would have been more like the new sensor. Like I could have argued for it, but I don't think you would have given it to me.
Well, you may have. The only thing that I can think of that you might have had an argument with, and I don't agree with this, was that they did talk about features that were coming later this year, but that's not in the pick. So
yeah, I was thinking they were gonna. And the issue is that I doubled down on this, right, with the tvOS stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yeah, I didn't get this one.
All right, so let me go ahead and I'm just missing one score there. So that puts us 8-7 after the first 3 rounds, or the first 9 picks, if you want to score them that way. Our Buck wild card. I got my chip speed chart. So
I don't know why I let you have that as your Buck wild card pick. That's such low hanging fruit. That's like, you could have just said Tim Cook's going to show up. Like it's just that guaranteed that's going to happen. Man, past cam was too nice.
I was going to say I was a little bit worried that with the iPhone, like you definitely get them with the Mac, but with the iPhone, we'll see. And when they showed some of the graphics right before they showed the chart, I'm like, oh, they might get the chart. And then he showed the chart, and I said out loud, oh, got my chip chart. So anyway, got that point.
My Buck wild card pick, which I believe truly embraces the spirit of this pick. Maybe I'm the passionate one this time around, Mitch. Is that updates to tvOS are announced, and they were not.
We got nothing about tvOS.
I wanna stay strong, but I'm starting to waver in my hope that they will do that this year.
And then our annual Predicties picks. I I selected the AirPods Max would be updated. Lost a point on that. So we'll go -1. And then I actually went on the website to look and see for your pick what that was good, what the thicknesses were on the watches. Because did you want to tell them what your pick was?
Mine was the thinner Apple Watch, and that was really the only thing from my annual Predicties list that even had a chance of being even mentioned or in the spec, because everything else has either already happened or was not on a product that was being announced. So I really backed myself into a corner with not having a different option on that one.
And so when it came down to it, I looked this up, and the last year's watch was 10.7 millimeters thick. This year's watch is exactly the same. So they stuck with the exact same case design.
All right. 8-6, Mitch. You've done it.
Oh, no. I think you misread that, buddy. 9-7.
No, check your math. It didn't do the negative ones.
It didn't do the negative ones. What? Oh, it didn't.
Yeah. See?
Oh, I added that. That's why. So hold on. I'll fix that. Edit formula. Add that one. All right. I just got to shout out. I am so excited that that numbers is just so easy to work with, because I literally just a few clicks and fixed it. So 8-6 is correct. That is the score for our September iPhone event. So
I suppose congratulations are in order. Well done.
I am the benevolent predictator.
Yes, your technological coup has been successful. I have been ousted from power.
So a little bit of wording or something like that different, and we might have been able to tie there, but I'll take the win. So
yep, there's definitely more green on your side.
So we'll have
it turns out it is greener on the other side.
For you.
Yeah, well, usually when you're winning, you're not looking to the other side. So when you're losing, you're like, oh, I wonder what life would be like on another team.
Yep. So we may have one more event for the calendar year, and then at the end of the year we can score our annual predictees, which I think is looking pretty good for you. I don't know how. Okay, well, you know what? We'll adjudicate these another time. There's a couple of them that I think I might be able to get in the annuals, but that's for another time. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about some of the announcements that we got on Wednesday. We started out with the Apple Watch, and we got a new SE. We got the Series 8 watch, and the new Apple Watch Ultra. So I don't think there's a whole lot to say about the SE or the Series 8 Apple Watch. I think there's a lot to say about what's going on with this Apple Watch Ultra. The one thing that I can say about the SE, I like that they brought the price down a little bit. An entry price of $249 with the Series 3 no longer being in the lineup, I think is palatable. I think I would have appreciated if they could have brought that down to $199, and so you had a sub $200 watch. But $249 can make that work. It's just hard when you're talking about, like, this is the phone for your kids, or I'm sorry, the watch for your kids. This is the watch, you can get for the family sharing and all this kind of stuff. And then it's $249. That $50 makes a big difference. So let me ask you, man, what do you think about the Ultra?
I mean, it's cool. It's definitely not for me. One, I don't run ultra marathons or climb mountains or go scuba diving or run regular marathons or mountain bike or you know, I don't do any of that stuff, and I don't need a watch that excels at doing those things. And I don't want to spend $800 on a watch because I don't do any of those things. That being said, I think it's really impressive. Um, I think it's got, the fact that it has the face, the interactive faces that, based on your activity will show you your elevation or your compass heading or, all that stuff. The extra button they added that can be, set to do certain things in certain contexts, like, and the fact that everything is bigger so you can do it while you have gloves on. Like it's good. It's interesting. It's cool. The whole video of where the presenters were while they were talking about it, it was like they were in the mountains. They were on a boat. Like, I want to know how much money they spent to produce that section, but two, the whole video. It's just, it's cool. And the part that made me laugh was like, well, and we have 3 bands based on 3 different types of activity. It's like, okay, like it made me laugh because it was like, it just sent like so overboard. Like, you can only wear this one if you're scuba diving. And if you're running, then you can wear this one. It's like, well, I want to wear whatever watch band I want. Like, leave me alone. But that was me being, I think, a bit.
So in defense of that concept, I think that you're probably right with the trail running and with the mountaineering watch bands. But I don't know if they call it now, the one that they designed for swimming. There has been a problem, and it's not something that I ever really thought was an issue. The ocean band, the original sports band, apparently, and I never had this issue, but folks have had issues with those popping loose when they're swimming and losing their Apple Watches.
That sucks.
Yeah. So I think it's
a couple $100 whoopsie.
Yeah. So I think this watch band is actually a response to that issue, that it's designed to attach more securely so that you can swim with it and it's not going to come loose. So I think in that case, that watch band is a good thing. The other two, I just think are cool looking.
I'm not saying it's not a good thing, like that but it felt like, to me, like just one step, like, oh gosh, like I get that they're purpose built and that's a good thing, but just the way that the guy, the guy that delivers the Apple Watch stuff, he's so robotic to me. And he's like, I'm just so excited about the new. It's like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
If that's how you show excitement, then golly.
He might be excited about it and just be over rehearsed.
Yeah. He felt like he was reading from a script the entire time. And his hands were always like Ricky Bobby, like, I don't know what to do with my hand. I don't know. I'm not saying he's not I don't know the dude. I just, gosh, get someone else with a little more charisma. Because then you go to other people, like he was bouncing into people that had charisma and were like in it and were delivering, and you go back to him and he's like, the Apple Watch Ultra is it's like, oh my gosh, man. And I get that, like, he's in charge, but not his skill set.
So I love the look of this watch. Let's not talk about the price for a second or the aspirational thing. I love the look of this watch, and I would buy this watch for how cool it looks. And it doesn't hurt that the action button is orange. I really think this is a cool looking watch. What I would love to see is next year or the year after, they take the Apple Watch Series 9 or the Series 10 and use a similar design language. It doesn't have to be the same, but something similar where maybe you have the crown guard like you have it on the Ultra watch now. I like that little bump out. I like that it makes it look a little beefier. I like the larger digital crown. The grooves are deeper. I think it looks cool. It looks a little beefier. I like the action button. I want to see that action button move to other watches in the future.
Yeah, especially if you can customize what it does based on, are you in a workout? Are you listening to music? Are you in a certain focus mode? Like, yeah, I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah. Now, also take into account $7.99 is also the price. They only offer it in cellular. So when you're looking at the Series 8 watch, your cellular model is $4.99. So you're talking about a $3 upcharge, or I'm sorry, a $300 upcharge to go to a watch that is, number one, made out of titanium. Number two, has the sapphire crystal watch face that is a much tougher material and less likely to be damaged. So you've got some upsell features right there that make the watch worth more money. But it's also
36-hour battery life.
36-hour battery life. I mean, when you're talking about $800 from that standpoint, yeah, it's a lot of money, but I don't feel like you're not getting the money's worth out of it. Because when you start to look at your Garmin watches that do a lot of this stuff, you're talking about divers, computers, you're talking about stuff like that this is reported to be able to do. You're talking about thousands of dollars for some of these items. You don't get under $1,000 all that often for a sports watch that has all the features that this watch has. So looking at it from the other standpoint, that isn't a bad price.
Exactly. And Apple undercut Garmin on purpose, right? Because that's their main competition for these sorts of things. And I'm not saying that for what you get, $800 isn't, crazy expensive. I'm just saying not a chance that I will ever spend that kind of money on a watch, because I don't live a lifestyle that requires anything an $800 watch can give me.
Yeah.
Like I would literally be wasting my money. So I'm not saying it's like prohibitive, or I'm not saying it's expensive for what it is. I'm saying it's expensive for me because, I mean, a normal Apple Watch is expensive for me.
Yeah.
I'm just a nerd and was like, I could choke on that much, but 800, like same deal with the AirPods Max. They're very nice headphones. I'm just not going to spend that much money on headphones, and you did, and you like them and you love them, and
use
that's
them
okay. We're like, you know what I mean? We have different thresholds for what we're willing to spend money on for different categories. And that's what makes people,
Yeah.
Some people spend lots of money on clothes. Other people spend lots of money in their car or whatever. We all have our thing that we're like, I will spend whatever I need in this category because this is what I love.
And if I had the disposable income, I would have ordered this watch already.
Oh, I know. 100%. Yeah. I was watching this. It was like, Mitch wants this so bad.
I do. It's such a beautiful watch. But at the same time, there's been the point made on a few of the podcasts that I've listened to over the last couple of days that this watch is chunky. It's big. And, where the watch that I have right now, if I had to wear a suit this afternoon to go to something, I could pull this watch off with a suit. That watch, it's going to be hard to pull that off with a suit. It's going to look weird. And I do not have the disposable income to have two watches. So as much as I love this watch and as much, it's just not, I hate to say it, just not for me. But I will tell you that orange Alpine loop is going to be mine at some point. I love that watch band. It is cool. And I think that Christmas money could be where that comes from. So I'm going to try to do my best to not be stupid about buying this and use maybe if any of my relatives are listening that are buying gifts, an Apple gift card would be really useful for me this year. So, but yeah. There's so much more we could talk about, but I will leave it at that. We want to move on to the iPhone?
Sure.
So I think actually in the event they went to the AirPods next, but we'll talk about the iPhone first. I think the regular iPhone 14, cool upgrade. I think the some of the messaging around it was a little markety. They talked a lot about how the new iPhone 15 Bionic for the phone, this chip with a proven track record, which is basically saying, hey, we just are using the same chip from last year. So, but they spun it well. So,
well, and now what's funny is they're using the same chip from last year, but the price, like, unless I'm wrong, the price didn't go down for the 14.
No, it's the same price. Well,
yeah,
they binned the chips last year, so the iPhone 13 had a chip that used, I think it was 2 less processors than the Pro models. It was the same chip, but they binned them, so it actually isn't the same technical chip. It's the chip that was in the Pros last year that is moving into the regular line this year.
right.
So
that's what I'm saying, though, is like,
it's not new, but
well, it's not new, which means they didn't have to create a new production process. They're using one that already exists, that's already built, that's already been, so they're saving a ton of money there.
But you're still getting more compute power.
I know, yeah. I know. I'm just being picky.
And then the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max. Should we talk about the fact that the iPhone 14 Plus got the Plus name?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yep.
I almost picked that for one of my picks.
Well, I guess you can't be a Max unless you're a Pro. You're only a Plus if you're a regular person.
So my theory on this is that they like the Plus name for the phone. They would love the Plus name on the Pro phone, but iPhone Pro Plus is a mouthful, and there's a whole lot of P popping in there, and which is why they went to the Max name, because they needed it to differentiate. Now, whether we can argue whether or not the Max is the right name for that, but yeah. So
Mark Gurman's been on his high horse about how they're going to go away from they're going to add Ultra to the iPhone line, just like they did the chipset. You've got the the M1, the M1 Max, the M1 Ultra, and so he's convinced that Ultra will make its way to iPhone. The iPhone. Gosh, Apple. Every time they did it on the event, I just physically twitched. Like,
I don't even hear it anymore.
Oh, it makes me crazy.
Yeah.
We love iPhone. iPhone, great. Sound like cavemen.
Doesn't bother me at all.
And then they hop right back into normal English. It's like, I know. I'll stop. I know, but it's just awful.
I think the between the camera and the dynamic island on the Pro models, I think, man, this is a really nice upgrade.
Yeah, so last year the 13 was the first Pro model iPhone I'd ever had. I'd always just had the normal one before. But the extra camera, the better quality camera settings, cinema mode, all that sort of stuff. Yes, I will jump to Pro. This Pro, if I just had a normal 13 and this was the new Pro, I'd be upgrading to I would skip a year. I would pay to get this Pro from a 13 regular, because photo and video is that important to me. I'm really impressed with the cameras, and the dynamic island's kind of fun. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out if that's going to be annoying or helpful once the novelty of it wears off.
Like I said, I think it'll be interesting to hear some of our podcasting
brethren and
sisterin.
Sisterin,
I think is fine.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be interesting to hear them talk about it in use and see how much they like it. I think it demos really well.
Yeah, and that's my point. Is I think it demos great, but what is it going to be like 6 months in?
I will tell you,
annoyed by it.
I sent you a text message not long after they announced this, and I think that if they had to do a cutout on the screen, this is probably the smartest thing that they've done, or they could have done with this, because it is creating basically, here's this black spot in the middle of your screen that is part of the UI and becomes part of the UI. And these parts of the UI actually almost hide it even more. So I think it's just a brilliant move on their part to actually make this part of how you operate with the phone. And, the only thing that would make it better is if it could disappear. Can you imagine if there were pixels across the front of that all of a sudden, like if you weren't using the camera, it would just fill in over the top of that? I don't know how technically difficult that would be, but
well, I mean, it's just like like the invisibility cloak stuff for like planes.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get there, but yeah, I think the Pro phones look great, super cool, and I like that they were outside on that, like with a screen in front of that cool staircase at night with like the lights for that. That was neat.
Yeah. The staircase leading up to the ring. Yeah, I dig this. I think I would really enjoy the dynamic island. If you haven't listened to Connected from this last week, you've got to listen to it.
I haven't gotten to it yet.
It made me laugh so hard. So, but anyway, let's move on to the AirPods Pro. I don't want to make a marathon show out of this today, so man, I'm intrigued. I kind of thought to myself that back a year ago that the Pro AirPods just weren't for me anymore, because I didn't like sticking those things in my ears, and it just is uncomfortable to me. But they might have added enough features to this year that almost make it worth it. That adaptive transparency mode is absolutely brilliant. So something that I really struggle with, my wife and I will go out to dinner, and if we're sitting in a loud restaurant, I cannot hear her at all. Like we'll be sitting talking just normal volume, and I should be able to hear her. And it's not just her. It's like anybody in an environment like that I just have trouble hearing it, because my ears, I did something to them when I was young, maybe too many loud rock concerts or something. And like, I don't have a problem hearing things. My problem really is that I hear the background more than I hear what I want to be listening to. It just drowns everything out. This would be a solution for that. I can't get a hearing aid necessarily for the issue that I have, but to have something like this that would actually take all this background noise that is just loud and distracting and just even reduce the volume of it a little by maybe say 50% would be great. But
I'm looking through the AirPods page right now, and the main heading is rebuilt from the sound up, which is just good marketing, just good, clever marketing.
They're good.
Most of the time. Sometimes they're cheesy, but
can I just say how much I hate this design? I'm on the same page. Like you scroll up and it's like it makes everything animate, and like
Mitch likes his websites from the 90s, folks. That's what he likes.
No, what I like is I like being able to scroll past an image and not get stuck on that image for like half the page before it scrolls something new up. Anyway, that's my problem.
I don't know. It's all good.
I think it's clever. I think it's cool, but you know what? I don't want to. If you go down a little ways, and you go to where they're showing the case, and they're like, you have to scroll through the AirPods going into the case, and then the case clicks shut and twirls around to show you the lanyard loop, and then shows you the bottom where the speaker is, and then comes back up and talks about sweat and water resistance, and then it'll let you scroll past that. It's like, it drives me crazy. Oh, I will say that there is one thing that I think is a lot of fun. It's that now you can when you set up, what am I trying to get at here? When you set up the engraving, you can now have Memoji engraved on there, not just the emoji. So I could have my face on there. That makes me excited.
Yeah, it's got the new H2 chip,
mm-hmm.
which is exciting, I guess. Talked about the noise cancellation. There's now an extra small tip for all you people with tiny ears. Congratulations.
I thought about my wife because my wife struggles with that.
I'm a large tip guy.
I don't know if my wife's going to appreciate me telling you about this, but she wears a hearing aid in one ear for tinnitus reasons. And she got her first hearing aid. She wanted something that would fit in her ear. Well, her ear canals are so small that when she got the hearing aid, they had to put all the electronics like basically sticking out of her ear. It looked like this flesh-colored grape sticking out of her ear. It was terrible. So she ended up getting a regular hearing aid after that. She went in like a week later and was just like, yeah, this is not working. You know, we need to get a different hearing aid. I don't think she even really wore it. She put it in her ear like a couple of times, and I was like, yeah, that's weird looking. It sticks out way too far. But yeah, so she ended up getting one that goes over the top of the ear, and her hair hides it anyway, so nobody's the wiser. So, all right. There was a line that the girl, I should say, the woman that introduced the AirPods said that, like, I popped into the event for just a moment and I heard her say this line, and then I popped out and said, you know what? I don't think those are for me. Let me see if I can find it real quick and I'll play it, because it was just ridiculous. All right, I'm pulling this up on my phone, so let me see if I can find this. I know about where she said it.
At the heart of AirPods Pro is our brand new H2 chip, providing an incredible upgrade to performance
I have to say,
with high bandwidth connectivity
to
unlock breakthrough audio experiences that only Apple Silicon
You don't
can
have
deliver.
to yell, we can hear you.
The exceptional sound quality of AirPods Pro is also now transformed with a new low distortion audio driver and a custom amplifier to power it. So whether you are dancing to J Balvin or relaxing to SZA, you will hear
that was the line that I got. I don't know either one of the two artists you just said, so this is apparently not for me. Hey, who are you?
So whether you are dancing to J Balvin or relaxing to SZA,
millennials.
You just don't listen to pop or hip hop.
No, I don't.
Yeah, see, there you go.
I heard,
you would know who they were.
Yeah, I heard her say that, and I'm like, wow, I have no idea who either of those two people are. So apparently, I'm not going to appreciate these AirPods.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting a Project 86 mention.
No. Well, that's fine, but I just thought it was funny. Cool. All right. Well, what's delighting you today, Cam? Oh, hold on. What's delighting you today, Cam?
The Rings of Power is delighting me.
Ooh, you're liking that, huh?
Dude. Now, okay. Before anyone who is a Tolkien connoisseur tells me all the things they've gotten wrong, I don't care. I read the Silmarillion when I was in high school. I remember some of the names and some of the places, and that's really it. Because high school was a while ago. I graduated in 04. So it's been a bit since, and I probably read it in like 2001. I know that there's histories and all that stuff, and I have the books. The TV show does not have to exactly match the books for me to enjoy it. It is visually and sonically stunning. The sets, the locations, the music, dude. It is, and I've got surround sound. So like when I watch it, like I am there. And I think that the woman they got to play Galadriel is awesome. I think she's really good. I like the guy that plays the dwarf Prince Durin. He's very Scottish, and I love it.
Yeah, he's a fun character.
The Harfoots are Irish. Like, it's just great. Like, there's and just I like the way that so far they have balanced the story between the humans and the elves and the dwarves. Like, you're just, they managed to drop you into 3 or 4 storylines right away.
Yeah, and
have managed to keep each of the storylines moving without you ever going, man, I haven't seen so and so in too long.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That they pace it very well. I think for the first 3 episodes of a show, they've dropped you in, they've gotten you caught up to speed, and they have moved things to a point where, like, man, it's about to get a little crazy in the next couple episodes.
Yeah. So how many episodes are you in?
All 3. I've seen all 3.
All 3. Okay, I have not seen the third one yet, so don't spoil
I watched it last night. Yeah. All I will say is that episode 3 is good. I won't say why or how, but now they spent like $250 million on the show, so it better be good, right?
Right.
But yeah, just from like a cinematography perspective, like, dude, it's beautiful. So, anyways, that's all I gotta say about it. I'm really enjoying it, and if I would hope that people that are like true Tolkien, like I said, connoisseurs, like this is their thing. My hope is that they can find a way to enjoy a show that is based off of that stuff, but will differ from it because it's TV and not book. My hope is that they would be able to enjoy the show and let the stuff go that is different. And or is new, right? Or is it alludes to something, but it's just not going to be that way. And I know that, like, I was listening to a Cortex episode where CGP Grey was like, this is the dumbest idea. Why would you try and make a TV show off of this stuff? You're never going to succeed. You're not going to do it. It's not going to be, he's like, it's just impossible to make a show on this stuff. And I'm like, I disagree.
Yeah.
They can make an adaptation and it can still be great. Some people won't like it because it's not true to the books. And okay, that's fine. I just hope there are some people like that can appreciate how beautifully done this show is, even though it will not match up 1-to-1 with the histories and the Silmarillion and stuff like that. And, that's their choice and that's their life. So they get to, they don't have to like it, but I would hope that they could like it because it's really good.
I think the important thing here is how you take the history and you take the information, all the information that you have, and you create a new story in it. I think that's something that Star Wars does really well. You don't have the main 3 trilogies have book adaptations of them, but the movie came first. They're not based on a book. So when you start going into the extended universe of the books, you start going, you have all these new TV series coming out. You've got someone was teasing a new movie yesterday that I haven't heard anything about. And you have all this stuff. These are new stories inside a greater universe. Now, do they get things wrong once in a while? Yeah, they do. But that's where you just headcanon it out and appreciate it for what it is. You know, because there's certainly like I'm watching through Star Wars Rebels right now, and I'm just about done. And there's a couple of times where I'm like, wait, that doesn't fit. Because what you just said, like I can go back to this other episode of this other show or into this movie, and that contradicts things. But even, you know, there's like 3 different ways to pronounce Twi'lek or Twi'lek or, you know, whatever they want to call that race. And I just headcanon it out as, you know, different parts of the galaxy pronounce things differently. Or, you know, that person just pronounced it wrong. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. So, you know, anyway, but I do agree that that Rings of Power is turning out to be really interesting. I think the Stranger, and don't spoil it if they do anything with him in episode 3, but Jamie and I stopped and said, okay, who do you think this is? And we've got 3 different people that it could be. She's got a theory. I've got a theory. And it's going to be interesting to see who it turns out being.
Are you going to tell me the theories?
Well, she thinks it's Radagast.
Okay.
With some of the stuff they did in episode 2, I can see where she comes to that point. I honestly think that it's Sauron. He hasn't come through as evil yet, and I don't know that, you know, you have this evil figure that comes through and makes these 3 rings of power and tricks man. I don't think that he necessarily looks evil and everything to trick men. I think he needs to be a man to trick men. Mm-hmm. So that's just that's my theory on it. Now, could it be Gandalf? We discussed that possibility too. But but it'll be interesting to see. It's not some average Joe Blow. It's a major player in the story. So we'll see what happens. And I think the thing that's tripped up Jamie the most on this is trying to figure out where it fits in the storyline. Mm-hmm. You know, so we looked that up when we were talking about it a little bit. That it takes place in the like second era or second phase.
Second age. Yep.
Second age. Yeah. So, so having that information helped her out. She's read a lot of the books, so she's very up on all of this. I have not. So what I know of the Lord of the Rings is basically from the movies. So,
so I will, Mitch, I'm going to send you, 2 links. One is on Amazon, and it is a like zoomable, scrollable map of the locations that have been in the show so far. Because you know how the first episode they showed the name of the place, and then they've used the map as transitional but also informational. Like, okay, and here we are, and this is where we're at, and they just show you in chunks. Amazon has all of it put together, and you can zoom in and zoom out and see. And then I found another one on the Lord of the Rings Project website that is also interactive, but you can show the routes of people from the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit, and then you can also overlay the Third Age Middle Earth when the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings takes place over the map of the Second Age, and so you can see like where the Shire is in comparison to where the Harfoots are in the Second Age, and you know where the Southlands are in the Second Age compared to like where Mordor and Gondor are in the Third Age. It really helps you put the old show in context with, or the Second Age, the Rings of Power show, with the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings activities, because it's the same place, just everything's named different because it's a different age and things have changed a little bit. But it's pretty neat to be like, oh, Khazad-dûm and Moria are not that far away, like same mountain range, right? And all this other stuff. And Rivendell is way closer to the Shire than I thought it was. And you know, the old elves in Second Age, like Elrond in this Rings of Power, is living far away from where he is in Lord of the Rings when he's in Rivendell. So it was really cool to do that. So I'll send you those links, and hopefully you can put those in the show notes for anyone that wants to check them out.
Cool.
What about you, sir? What's delighting you?
Well, I've been asking myself that all week. I don't know that there's any one thing that's really been delighting me. I've been happy. I think we talked about before we came on the show today about the Anchor stuff that I've picked up, the new cables and stuff like that I'm really happy with. I know we touched on it a little bit last time, but I did get my power bank yesterday, and this thing's a beast. First off, it's big and heavy. It's like you could, in a pinch, if I hit somebody with this, they're not getting back up real quick.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like you can commit a felony with that. That's for sure.
So if I put this in my backpack when we go on vacation here in about a week, and somebody tries to like, I don't know, steal my mom's purse or something like that, I can throw the backpack at them and probably knock them out. So. Well, this thing's a beast.
Honestly, who throws a battery?
But this is
what you're saying is you could commit battery with a battery.
I could. I like it. Although, yeah. Anyway, so this is the Anchor 737 power bank. It has Gantt charging, so it's a little bit smaller. I have another Gantt charger that I bought of theirs that I have actually running my laptop right now, so I can't lift it up and show it to you. Picked up a couple of their USB-C cables as well. These cables are really nice. Let me grab one that I don't have, that I'm not using right now. But I love these braided cables. And then on top of that, you see the little wrap that's on there to hold them together. This is brilliant. I love this. And so I can put this into my little case where I keep all my cables, and it keeps everything nice and organized. And then the power bank has a little screen on it, so it'll show you what the power level that you have on it right now is. I charged it up to 100% last night, and without anything plugged into it, it'll also has information on the battery health, the temperature, so you can keep track of the temperature. I'm assuming it's the temperature of the battery. It says it's 71 right now. It also has on here how much power has been discharged from it, and some other information as well, a number of battery cycles, and yeah. So when you have stuff plugged into this, I'm kind of showing you where it shows the battery level, but that battery level actually goes off to one side, and if you look on Anchor's website, you can see this. That it will show you that, and then it will also show you the amount of time that's left on the battery based on the current draw. It tells you how much power is being drawn from the battery by each device. This connects 2 USB-C connections and a USB-A. So you can have 3 things plugged into this at once and power all of them. It's 24,000 milliamp hours, and it can output up to 140 watts. So you can pretty much, anything that can take USB can be powered off of this. So, and that would be you sending me that stuff. So I'm going to silence my phone. But anyway, this has been delighting me. As crazy as that sounds, I'm pretty excited about this battery because I think this is going to solve a lot of problems for me. Not just on my upcoming trip, but also just, day-to-day stuff, being able to take my laptop, with the battery that doesn't really work anymore, being able to take that out and use it outside the house where I don't have a place to plug it in or not have to worry about plugging it in. I think it'll be a pretty big deal. So, yeah. So I'm just overall, I think Anchor makes some really good stuff, and I think it's also relatively well priced as well. So, yeah, I guess that's what's.
Yeah, I've anything that I've had by Anchor has been functionally good. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the build quality of some of the stuff wasn't the best, like it was all plastic, but that's also why it's cheaper. But I've never had any issues with it. Really?
Yeah, they don't try to go all stupid high end with their stuff. But at the same time, like, I'm not sitting here holding this battery feeling like this is cheap. it is made from plastic. It's grippy on the sides, which was actually kind of delighted by. But even the front of this might be aluminum, but it wouldn't even have to be. Like it feels solid. It feels good. Yeah, so it doesn't feel cheap whatsoever. I will put a link to the page in the show notes for everybody, along with a bunch of the other stuff that we talked about on the show today. So that you can go to those sites and check things out. All right. Well, if you've got nothing else, I got nothing else.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
All right. So I'm going to be getting this show out a little bit early for everybody. And then I'm going to be gone on vacation for a little over a week. We will be back to record on, what would the date be? Do you got that you got that handy?
Our normal time?
Yeah, it would be the normal next time that we would record.
The 1st of October.
1st of October. And you know what's special about that day? That's my birthday.
I was about to say that.
Yep.
My guess was it's your birthday, and it's not special because it's Michigan's playing Iowa.
Well, at any rate, so that'll be the next time we record. So if you guys don't hear from us for a couple of weeks, that would be why. I'm just getting this episode out early so you guys can listen to it while it's still relevant, instead of a week from now where it would be slightly less. So good stuff.
Indeed. Congrats on your win again, Mitch.
Thanks, buddy. And
welcome. Go cry now.
I am going to eventually figure out how to pronounce benevolent predictator without having to stop and think about it. What I did think it would be funny to do. Hold on a second. Hey Siri, call me the dang it. Messed it up. She calls me Jedi Master Mitch right now. So
that's funny.
Hey Siri, call me the benevolent predictator. Ooh, she got it right too. All right. Hey Siri, what do you call me?
You're Mitch, but you asked me to call you the benevolent predictator.
So very cool. All right. Cool. And I got those texts from you, so we'll check that out later.
Cool.
And I'm excited. All right. Well, if you are enjoying the show and you want to check out more about us, you can check us out at innerdialogue.show. We appreciate everyone who listens because you are special to us, because you like us and probably think we're funny, I hope. So you can check out our back catalog there, as well as all the links that you need to subscribe to us in your favorite podcast client. And if you would like to know more about me, you can check out mitchcraig.online.
And you can find me at cambrennan.com.
I feel like there was a hard pause there because you were trying to find something funny to say.
No, I just wasn't paying attention.
Okay.
I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm supposed to talk now.
All right.
My apologies.
You have a great week, sir, and we'll see you back here next time.
Bye.
Later.